Welcome to Business Edge Radio, the show that gives you tips, tricks, tools, and techniques about how to build a more profitable business, while at the same time creating your perfect lifestyle. It's a show about working less and living more. A few golden nuggets, a little bit of wisdom, and over 35 years of business experience to help you keep your edge. Lifestyle entrepreneur, best-selling author, internationally renowned business speaker, and daddy of 3, Mitch Graff brings the heat with actionable techniques for building the business and lifestyle of your dreams. Now your host, Mitch Graff.
Well, good day, my Unleashed tribe, and welcome to yet another fast-paced and action-packed episode of Business Edge Radio, the ultimate brainstorming session for your business and your life. I am your eternally optimistic and handsome host, Mitch Graff, and I'm really looking forward to today's show. I take a deep dive into how our frame of mind determines the outcomes of everything that we do. I review an incredible book called Fanocracy. I have an inspiring conversation with Kim Ades, who will give you a few ideas on how you should be approaching your life, and I end today's show with a new twist on an old classic, Miss Tami's world-famous kind of pot pie. So make sure you hang out with me until the end for that. In your opinion, what does frame of mind mean? The dictionary says it means a particular state or mood, the way someone is feeling or their emotional state. Why are some people more accomplished than others? Aside from sheer talent, highly successful people have a winning frame of mind that catapults them to untold heights. Kobe Bryant had it in basketball. Michael Phelps has it in swimming. Tiger Woods in golf. And Sean Connery had it with acting. Scientists say that Mother Nature has hardwired us with a negativity bias for our survival. The brain is like Velcro for negative experiences and Teflon for positive ones. We routinely assess risks by making judgments about people and situations for our own safety and our own survival. To keep us out of harm's way, negative events grab more of our mind's attention than positive ones do. You probably remember where you were on 9/11, but not where you were the day before. I can remember to this day where I was when the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded, where I was when Ronald Reagan was shot, and I can remember the exact moment that I heard that the United States was going to be shut down in order to deal with COVID-19. Think about it for a few seconds. Where were you when big negative events happened in your life? It's like our brain starts having an overload of synapses that forever brand those events into our psyche. Experts tell us that it takes 3 positive thoughts to offset 1 negative thought. No wonder it's difficult to remain hopeful and persevere in uphill challenges where we're bombarded with the same bad news bias that keeps us safe. We tend to overestimate threats and underestimate possibilities. Without realizing it, we build a negativity lens, so to speak. The same lousy job that you despised, the usual inconsiderate coworkers, or the lackluster party that was nothing to write home about. But here's the good news, my friends. Grass grows through concrete. Trees grow in forests that have been devastated by fires. And we have the ability to control how we view the world. When negativity strikes, you can underestimate threats and overestimate possibilities with the same tried and true strategies that successful people use to navigate obstacles in their businesses and in their personal lives. Studies show that optimists, compared to pessimists, have lower stress levels, move faster up the career ladder, have fewer health complaints, and of course live longer. But you don't have to be a card-carrying optimist to realize that misfortunes are rarely as bad as the brain registers them. Here are some strategies you can use to cultivate a winning frame of mind from our friends over at Psychology Today. Number 1, focus on the upside of a downside situation. Every loss contains a gain or a win if you look for it. I have to pay more taxes this year than ever before becomes I made more money this year than I've ever made. My Facebook ads bill is larger than it's ever been becomes my online sales are skyrocketing like never before. Number 2, try to pinpoint the opportunity contained inside of the difficulty. make it a habit to focus on the good news wrapped around the bad news. Ask yourself, how can I make this situation work to my advantage? Can I find something positive in it? What can I manage or overcome right now in this instant? Small businesses have more challenges and roadblocks facing them than ever before because of the pandemic. But I can absolutely guarantee you that amongst the rubble and the burning ashes, there are opportunities that are hidden just waiting for you to discover them. They may not be easy to see, but if you look hard enough and give yourself the permission to have a different perspective, they will slowly begin to show themselves to you. You just have to be willing to look and think outside of the box and view things with a different set of eyes. Number 3, develop a growth mindset. Think of a setback as a lesson to grow from instead of a failure to endure. Ask what you can learn from difficult outcomes or failures and use them as stepping stones instead of roadblocks. To me, the most successful people that I know have had more failures and have fallen flat on their faces more times than they would care to admit. Failure is a prerequisite for success. Show me a successful person, and I bet they have scars and wounds from battles fought and lost, but they never gave up hope and continued to push forward with the lessons they learned. Number 4, broaden your scope. When threatened, your brain is designed to constrict and target the threat like the zoom lens of a camera. This limits your ability to see the bigger picture. Expand your outlook with a wide-angle lens that steers you beyond doom and gloom to bigger possibilities. Number 5, be chancy. Take small risks in a new situation instead of predicting negative outcomes before giving them a try. I won't go to the party because I'm afraid I won't know anyone becomes, if I go to the party, I might make a new friend. Number 6, avoid blowing a negative situation way out of proportion. This one is a little bit hard to accomplish, I understand. Don't let one bad experience rule your whole outlook. I didn't get the promotion, so I'll never reach my career goals becomes, I didn't get the promotion, but there are more steps I can take to reach my career goals. Number 7, focus on the solution, not the problem. You'll feel more empowered to cope with life's curveballs when you step away from the problem and brainstorm a wide range of possibilities. Practice positive self-talk. After a big letdown, underscore your triumphs and high-five your tall comings instead of bludgeoning yourself with your shortcomings. Give yourself a fist pump when you reach a milestone or an accomplishment. Hey, life is filled with tiny victories, and make sure you take a moment to enjoy them as they appear in your life. Number 9, hang out with positive people. Optimism is contagious. When you surround yourself with optimistic people, positivity rubs off. You've heard me say before that we are all a combination of the 5 people we spend the most amount of time with. So with that knowledge, it would make sense that you make a concerted effort to surround yourself with as many optimistically positive people as you can. And number 10, strive to see fresh starts contained inside of adversity. Failure is neither personal nor final. Envision your letdowns as temporary and know that you can overcome them. Perseverance increases the likelihood of propelling you to the top of the leaderboard. The definition of success is to get up one more time than you've fallen down. Baseball great Babe Ruth, arguably one of the best baseball players of all time, said at one point, "Every strike brings me closer to the next home run." You can use Ruth's wisdom in your pursuits by stacking your positivity deck and allowing setbacks to bring you closer to your goals. So keep swinging with that winning frame of mind until you hit your dreams out of the park. Booyah! Today, I want to review the book Fanocracy, Turning Fans into Customers and Customers into Fans by David Meerman Scott and Ryko Scott. How do some brands attract word-of-mouth buzz and radical devotion around products as everyday as car insurance, B2B software, and underwear? They embody the most powerful marketing force in the world, die-hard fans. In this essential book, leading business growth strategist David Meerman Scott and fandom expert Ryko Scott explore the neuroscience of fandom and interview young entrepreneurs, veteran business owners, startup founders, nonprofits, and companies big and small to pinpoint which practices separate organizations that flourish from those that get stuck in stagnation. They lay out a roadmap for converting customers' love into buying power, pulling one-of-a-kind examples from a wide range of organizations, including Me Undies. I love that name, Me Undies, the subscription company that revolutionized underwear. Headcount, the nonprofit that registers voters at music concerts. That's a weird one. Grain Surfboards, the board-building studio that willingly reveals its trade secrets with customers. Haggerty, the classic car insurance provider with over 600,000 premium club members. And HubSpot, the software company that draws over 25,000 attendees to its annual conference. For anyone who seeks to harness the force of fandom to revolutionize his or her business, Fanocracy will show you the way. This book will change the way that you think about being a fan in your own life and cultivating fans for your business. What I enjoyed most about their writing style is how they observe from the world around them and then synthesize the lessons for business and for marketing. The book looks at fandom from both sides, the experiences of the fan themselves, and the practices of those businesses, institutions, and artists that develop and nurture their fans, or fanocracies. The Scots define a fanocracy as an organization or a person that honors fans and consciously fosters meaningful connections among them. Creating a fanocracy is about adding value to your products and services through a sense of community, involvement, and identity. The Scots write, "People are going to be the most invested in that which creates a sense of intimacy, warmth, and shared meaning in a world that would otherwise relegate them to a statistic." Turning your business into a fanocracy isn't necessarily easy, but it can be done. The book details in 9 steps how you can create your own fanocracy and includes points like getting closer to your customers, letting go of control of your own creations. That's a hard one for some people. And giving more than you have to. The book will get you thinking of questions like, what are you a fan of? How does that experience enrich your personal life? And how can you encourage these kinds of feelings in your most loyal customers? It's a book that can easily be binge read over a weekend and will give you strategies on how you can get diehard fans to not only love you and your business, but will help amplify your passion for your best customers. You can find this book, as well as many, many other great reads at powermarketing101.com/hotlist. That's powermarketing101.com/hotlist. Hello, Unleashed Tribe. I am so honored to have you as a loyal listener, and I'm very excited to tell you about the Business Edge Radio app, now available on Apple and Android devices. You can catch up on past episodes, watch short videos of the Business Edge Minute, our 60-second show that gives you quick and easy tips on building a better business and living a better life. And you'll get access to bonus materials that are only available on the app. In fact, I have a nice little PDF bonus waiting for you there right now. Plus, you can email the show, call the show, connect with us on social, check out our website, and even make a nice fluffy omelet. No, you can't really do that. Just go to the iTunes Store or Google Play Store, and you can download the Business Edge Radio app so you can be one of the cool kids on your block. Business Edge Radio, the ultimate brainstorming session for your business and life. Now available in the App Store. Download it today. And if you don't, I'll come visit you on your day off. Fans of Business Edge Radio, I have a very special treat for you. As you know, I love barbecuing and making up any excuse to get myself outdoors. And that's why I'm so excited to partner with Barbecue Nation. They make incredible sauces and rubs and spices and meat shredders and grill scrapers and lots more. And they're offering a deal for our listeners. Check out bbqnation.net. And when you place an order for any of their products, you'll receive a 20% discount off your order when you enter the word EDGE at checkout. Looking for a magnet that lists your cooking temperatures or different types of smoking woods? They got that. Need a heavy-duty set of meat shredders for your pulled pork or shredded chicken sliders? They got that too. Or my favorite is their Magic Dust Everything Rub that will spice up just about any dish. Log on to bbqnation.net. That's bbqnation.net today. And when you enter the code EDGE at checkout, you'll receive a 20% discount just because you hang out with us on the show. Barbecue Nation, get your grill on. Money. Who couldn't use a little bit more money right now, right? Whether you're saving for a down payment on that dream house, planning a wedding, trying to pay off some debt, or are looking for some creative ways to earn income while the economy is trying to rebound. Your day job might help you pay for the essentials, but a side hustle from home, that's the game changer that'll make a difference in your wallet while giving you the freedom that you've always wanted. Working for yourself gives you 3 things that working for someone else can't necessarily give you: time freedom, location freedom, and money freedom. And to a varying degree, these are all reasons why more people are starting their own businesses today than at any time in our history. If you're looking to earn some additional income but don't want to jump in with both feet, starting a side hustle may be just what the doctor ordered. Don't wait for someone else to do it. Hire yourself and you start calling the shots. A side hustle is a way to make money outside of your 9-to-5 job. It allows you to make more money. That'll give you the freedom to pursue your passions, buy things that you want to buy, lower the financial worries you might be having, among other things. The worst part is that with a job, your financial growth is usually capped. Maybe you get a bonus, but is that really enough to live the life that you dream about? Can you honestly say that your current income allows you to have all the things you want, do all the things you do, and improve yourself in all the ways that you want? Maybe, or maybe not. So, you start a side hustle to make a couple $100 or maybe a few thousand extra bucks a month, something that can either help you make money today, tomorrow, or maybe 5 years from now. Something that will add to your bank account and hopefully reduce the importance of working for the man for the rest of your life. Now, a side hustle is just that. It's a side hustle. It's something on the side that doesn't take away from your bread and butter, meaning that your risks will be measured. So you have decided that a side hustle from home is the best way for you to make money, but you don't know where to start. Here's a few steps that you can take to help figure out what your side hustle will be and how much time and money you are willing to invest in it. Number 1, make a list of what you're interested in. You need to love and be passionate about what you're doing as a side hustle for it to be successful for you. It's that simple. This job will be done on your own time and outside of office hours if you have a day job, so it'll take a lot of energy and motivation to make it stick. Only something that you are passionate about and that you enjoy will drive you that much. Brainstorm side hustle ideas around your interest and skills to discover the best ventures to start or see if you can turn one of your hobbies into a business. About 15 years ago, I had a hobby of mixing spices together for my barbecuing. Well, over time, this hobby took on a life of its own and eventually became a product line that could be found in over 4,000 stores across the country. But it all started with a passion for cooking and a few leftover spices hanging around the cupboard. Do you have any current hobbies that you could potentially turn into a side hustle? Think about it over the next couple of days. Number 2, decide early if you will invest money. Side hustles shouldn't cost too much money, but they may require some investment up front for things like hosting or branding and other business tools. You may decide that you want to do some advertising to find your first customers. Whatever your growth and expansion plan is for your side hustle, you need to be aware of your spend before it happens. Plan your spending accordingly and measure your success to know whether you should continue or not. Number 3, make sure there's no conflicts of interest. If you do have a day job and have connections that could lead to a conflict of interest with your side hustle, then it's not a good idea to continue with it. Sometimes the best advice is to try something else or shelve the idea for another time so that you don't end up doing something that you regret. Starting a side hustle with a conflict of interest could lead to costly lessons learned. Number 4, schedule time for your side hustle. A side hustle takes time out of your schedule daily, so ensure everything is going right. It is not possible to set up a website and schedule your content and forget about everything else until next week or next month. Set aside time in your calendar on a regular basis for your side hustle and outline actionable goals for this time to ensure that what you are doing is valuable. If you have a day job, aim to give 3 or 4 evenings a week or perhaps some hours on the weekend to your side hustle. Depending upon what it is and how deep you want to get into developing it, put it in your schedule book and make sure it happens. Number 5, don't forget about that day job. That's what pays the bills. If you are setting up a side hustle while also having a 9 to 5, remember to put 100% of your energy into that day job when you are there. The side hustle will give you some money, but you rely on a check from your day job that you need to pay the bills. Don't try to juggle your day job and the side hustle within the 9 to 5 hours, as this is just a recipe for disaster. And who knows, maybe one day your side hustle will take on a life all of its own, and you will be able to leave the 9 to 5 behind and dive in with both feet. You never know unless you try. Kim Ades is the president and founder of Frame of Mind Coaching and Journal Engine software. She's recognized as an expert in the area of thought mastery and mental toughness. And she uses her unique philosophy and quirky coaching style to help business owners and leaders identify their personal blind spots and shift their thinking in order to yield extraordinary results. Author, speaker, entrepreneur, coach, and mom of 5. Yep, I said mom of 5. Kim's claim to fame is teaching her powerful frame of mind coaching to leaders, parents, and influencers worldwide. What I want you to pay attention to is her unique views on things like work-life balance, dealing with adversity, and living an extraordinary life. You can reach Kim at frameofmindcoaching.com as well as journalengine.com. I know you're going to enjoy my wide-ranging discussion with Kim Ades. Well, Kim, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
You know, I'm going to flip my questions around a little bit for you, upside down, and start with parenthood, which is something I know that most people can relate to. You're a serial entrepreneur, and you keep a very busy schedule. You have multiple coaches that work for you, and your tentacles are all over the world. And you have 5 kids.
Crazy, right?
We talk quite often on this show about how to build our perfect lifestyle first, and then you reverse engineer to figure out what business blueprint that you want. And that prevents us from falling into that 8 to 5 trap of 80, 90, 100-hour work weeks. Before listeners even get to hear about our topic today, I want to know what has been the toughest challenge for you in achieving this work-life balance. And I know that some of your approaches are a little bit contrary to the way that we kind of tend to look at things. So what's been the biggest challenge for you?
So let me go back. So did I achieve the perfect work-life balance? I don't think balance is really the goal. Surprise, surprise.
So what is your goal?
That's not what we're really after. What we're really after, and let me go back. Let me kind of give you a bit of a visual. Imagine you're at a playground, and imagine you see 2 kids on a teeter-totter or a seesaw, whatever you call it, and they are in perfect balance. What's happening?
Nothing.
Nothing. Exactly. And while nothing is good periodically, we're not really after a life of nothing. We're not after a life of stillness. We're after moments of stillness. So this concept of going for perfect balance is really a little bit misunderstood, or it's misleading. What we're really going for is the ride, being on the seesaw and enjoying the ups and the downs, the bumps and the thrill of the ride without feeling stressed or overwhelmed or anxious. We're after being engaged in our lives in the most passionate manner. So if you're with your kids, be with your kids, be present. If you're working, be there.
And I think that's part of the challenge too, is sometimes we're at work and we're thinking about being at home, being in the garden, being with our children, doing something as a family. And when we're with the family, it's like, oh, I need to get that report done. I got 5 calls tomorrow. And there's that virtual blockage in our brain that we seem to always be vacillating back and forth. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges. Do you agree?
Well, I think it is a very big challenge for people who aren't able to be where they are and feel this sense of guilt. And so where does guilt come from? Guilt comes from the belief or a series of beliefs that says I should be better, I should be somewhere else, I should be paying more attention, I should be more accomplished, I should be making more money, I should be more successful. And it's that set of beliefs that drive the constant feeling of never being satisfied and never being present with where you are. And that's what I'm interested in addressing, those beliefs that say I should be somewhere else.
Well, our beliefs are started back when we're kids, aren't they? And then as we grow up, we get these belief systems that become part of our fiber. And then we get to the point of your life and my life that our whole lives are built on belief systems.
That's exactly true. Our beliefs come from our parents, from our friends, from the media, from our past experiences, from our wins, from our failures, from all of it. Yes. And the problem is that we're not always aware of how our beliefs drive our behaviors and therefore our outcomes. We're not conscious of this relationship.
Yeah, it's something that's unconscious. And what it does is it forces us to have a kind of an emotional resilience, not to give up too early, not to let circumstances dictate your life, not to quit on your dreams. I'll give you a quick story. This last weekend, I took my 13-year-old son, Colton, down to Texas for Game 4 of the World Series between Tampa Bay and our favorite team, the Dodgers. And we land at the airport. We get in an Uber. She gets lost twice, just leaving the airport 2 times. And then, unbeknownst to me, she went the opposite direction of our hotel. I was talking to my son. We're laughing. And down there, it's all flat. You don't know what direction you're going. It was cloudy. I couldn't see the sun. So before you know it, she's doing a U-turn. And then I put my GPS on to find out that we're now 45 minutes away from the hotel instead of 20. And then she took 2 more exits. All the same time, my son's back there going, "Oh, Dad, this is terrible. Our day is ruined." It's like, Colton, these are just little speed bumps. These are hiccups in the road of life. Guarantee you, tonight when we go to bed and we talk about our day, we're going to actually laugh about this moment that we're going through right now that you feel is the end of our day, and it's going to ruin the whole trip. And guess what? At midnight, when we finally shut down and reviewing the day, he says, "Dad, that was funny, wasn't it?" She got lost 5 times, and it took us an hour and a half to make a 20-minute trip. But that emotional resilience is something that, as we go in life, it builds up in us. And it's something I think most people don't.
For some people.
For some people, right.
Right. So as a father, when you're exposing your son to the fact that this could be funny, and this is part of our experience, and this is part of what we're going to remember, what you're teaching your son is to look at moments that can be considered as adversity as an experience that's worth remembering.
Right.
And so what you're teaching your son is how to interpret what's happening to him, for him, in front of him, because of him. And that interpretation will determine whether or not a person is resilient.
Interpretation, that's a great word. So right now, everyone is facing challenges in the business world. I mean, we all have unique challenges never before have we faced. So how do you put that word emotional resilience in the forefront, and how do you work on getting through those moments that we feel like, oh, this is too tough. I can't handle it. My business is not going to survive. I can't make it another day. What things can we do to kind of build that emotional resilience?
So what is emotional resilience exactly? Emotional resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity with speed and agility and leverage the adversity. So that piece is very important. And when we have kind of the muscle to leverage adversity, what happens is when we see adversity coming and when we experience adversity, our reaction, our knee-jerk reaction is to say, okay, I need to do something with this. I need to turn this into an advantage somehow, as opposed to making it the reason for my failure, my demise.
Right.
And so when we think in terms of how is this going to work for me, we think strategically, we think in terms of opportunity, we see what's in front of us differently, and we're able to recover with greater speed. And so this whole idea of resilience is really about understanding that whatever we get, whatever's in our hands is something we can do something with. We can turn it into something that works for us, as opposed to looking at it, again, interpreting it as a horrible, terrible, awful thing. We can take it and say, okay, how can I turn this into a win for me instead of a loss?
But how do you do that in the middle, right smack dab in the middle of the adversity?
Well, part of it is understanding. It's that realization. I can turn this around. I have the ability to look at this differently. I don't have to just fall with what I'm handed.
And that mental toughness is just hard to come by sometimes, isn't it?
It takes practice, just
it
like,
does.
You have strong abs. And in order to have strong abs, you need to do your ab exercises. This requires mental exercise as well.
Well, and you're a coach. And so in the traditional sense, a coach is someone that coaches athletes and teaches them to have mental toughness. But in the business world, coaches help leaders and managers and C-level executives get through their days, go through the adversity and the molehills and the mountains that their businesses will face on a daily basis nowadays. So In that world, what kind of things do you take from a personal relationship that you have, let's say with your kids and with your friends, and how do you apply that to the business world?
Well, I've always said that when you look at a leader, the way that they parent or the way that they have been parented has a strong connection to the way they lead.
I agree with that.
The way that they manage their teams, the way that they encourage, the way that they get frustrated when someone does something wrong, the way that they respond to an error, etc. There's a very strong connection there. And so what I look at always when I talk to leaders is, what is it that you want from this person? And let's try to encourage that. Let's try to breed that. Because what happens is leaders come to me and say, I'm frustrated with these, all this whole litany of things. And when a person's frustrated, what that indicates to me is they're identifying all the things that they do not want, which is valuable because it provides us the contrast to be able to identify what we would rather have. When it comes to leadership, it's very, very important. One of the most critical thinking strategies of leaders is that they need to be clear about what they want. And my job is to help them discover, realize, notice, become aware of how sometimes their behaviors are not consistent with what they want. Clear about what you want, it's easier to behave in ways that drive the outcomes you're looking for.
No, so much easier. Yeah. So why don't you recommend that leaders and managers and executives seek that perfect work-life balance? I know this is a little bit counterintuitive to a lot of things out there, but why is it that you don't believe that?
Well, because I'm not looking for that static state. I'm not looking for nothingness. I'm looking for engagement. I'm looking for passion. I'm looking for involvement, participation. I'm looking for people bringing their best to every moment. And so in order for them to bring their best to every moment, they need to be present in every moment. And so I'm more interested in presence. I'm more interested in passion. I'm more interested in helping people live lives that are extraordinary as opposed to balanced.
So let's say you have a guy that works his 80 hours a week. He's got a startup, a couple years old, and he's trying to break through to get to that critical mass phase where he can hire people and delegate and do all those things that anyone that's an entrepreneur knows, right? What do you tell that guy that is trying to get some of that personal life back? And he is trying to find a balance between the two, but the forces of nature, the forces of business nature seem to continue to get him more and more committed to spending more and more hours, which is no answer. That's not a way to live your life. So what do you tell that guy that is overburdened and overwhelmed with the amount of work that he has, but he has a family at home that he wants to spend time with?
So what I do is I look at the beliefs that cause this particular person to feel a need to put in that many hours. So some of the beliefs might sound like, I can't afford to hire someone else. If I give it away to someone else, it won't be done as well as I can do it. It could sound like I just have to put in the hours for now. It could sound like, time is of the essence. And if I don't do it in this period of time, then I miss the opportunity and I miss the boat. It could sound a million different ways, but the beliefs we have will drive the actions we take or the actions we don't take. In this case, this person that you're describing has a set of beliefs that says, I need to work this number of hours or else. And that belief is usually somewhat faulty.
Isn't that interesting how that perception just kind of grows with us as we get older? I have a thing called the 24/7 lifestyle, and for 25 years, it's been a psychology that I have tried to live 24 hours a week, 7 months a year. Now, am I successful? No. Not all the time, but it's my shining beacon on the hill. I want to work 24 hours a week, 7 months a year, and have the rest of the time to do whatever it is I want to do, whether it's a personal project, whether it's kids, whether it's take my son to the World Series. It doesn't matter, but I really work hard to make sure I delegate and automate and all those things. But I'm never completely successful with that because I'm striving. I'm trying to get there. Other people, it might be a 48. They might try to get down to 40 hours a week or get down to 60. And we all have our different levels of what it means to take back control of our life so that we can do all the things that we want, work and play, right?
I'm kind of curious. What do you do in the other 7 months? The other 5 months.
I take a lot of time off. We travel. I enjoy a lot of personal projects and spend a lot of time with my kids. I coach them. I do all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it's I don't want to spend my life working. I got good people working with me, and I've always said that you get You get a good idea, you hire people around you that are smarter than you, much smarter than you, and then you just stay out of their way and let them do their jobs.
So do you think that that's called balanced, or do you think that's called actually really, really passionately living your life in all areas?
I'm passionate living the life that I want to, and I have to work in order to have money to take time off, right? So you have to make sure you're working smart. And that's kind of what the show is about, is ways that you can work smart, that you can automate and find that balance. And the word balance, and I agree with you, I think it's an overused word. There is no such thing as a perfect balance. It's something that every day vacillates. It changes from day to day, and we need to live in the moments. Like right now, the moment is you and I talking. In half an hour, you'll have a different moment. I'll have a different moment. But we have to live in those moments and make sure that we enjoy it to the best of our abilities. And the approach that you have, I like it because it is a little bit different. It talks about mental toughness. And it's not something that everybody thinks about on a day-to-day basis, but I think we need to. Do you agree with that? We all need to kind of be aware of what our level of mental toughness is?
Well, I think we have to be aware of how we feel. And when we feel, anxious, fearful, weak, worried, that's an indicator that we can use a little bit of mental strengthening. It's an indicator that we're not spending our time feeling good enough of the time. And so that's a sign that says, hey, maybe I could do some work in this area.
Let's take a short break for a word from our wonderful marketing partners.
Hello, Unleashed Tribe. I am so honored to have you as a loyal listener, and I'm very excited to tell you about the Business Edge Radio app, now available on Apple and Android devices. You can catch up on past episodes, watch short videos of the Business Edge Minute, our 60-second show that gives you quick and easy tips on building a better business and living a better life. And you'll get access to bonus materials that are only available on the app. In fact, I have a nice little PDF bonus waiting for you there right now. Plus, you can email the show, call the show, connect with us on social, check out our website, and even make a nice fluffy omelet. No, you can't really do that. Just go to the iTunes Store or Google Play Store, and you can download the Business Edge Radio app so you can be one of the cool kids on your block. Business Edge Radio, the ultimate brainstorming session for your business and life. Now available in the App Store. Download it today. And if you don't, I'll come visit you on your day off. If you know anything about me, you know that I love my early mornings, and I really love a good cup of fresh roasted coffee. There's nothing better than getting started before the rest of the world with a good cup of joe. That's why I'm so excited to have Mountain Creek Coffee as a partner. The process is so simple. You order, they roast, they ship, you enjoy. They don't roast your beans until an order is placed, which guarantees the absolute freshest coffee that you can get. Check out their artisan dark roast, medium roast, or decaf beans at mtncreekcoffee.com. And when you put in the code EDGE at checkout, you will receive 20% off your first order. I prefer the dark roast because of its full body and bold flavor. You order, they roast, they ship, you enjoy. Log on to mtncreekcoffee.com and enter the code EDGE at checkout, and you will receive a 20% discount off your first order. Pretty cool stuff. Mountain Creek Coffee and Business Edge Radio, a partnership brewed out of the love of coffee. See what I did right there?
Kim Ades is the president and founder of Frame of Mind Coaching and Journal Engine Software. She's recognized as an expert in the area of thought mastery and mental toughness, and she uses her unique philosophy and quirky coaching style to help business owners and leaders identify their personal blind spots and shift their thinking in order to yield extraordinary results.
And you're a proponent of journaling. Why?
Well, we use journaling in our coaching process because journaling allows our coaches to really see the dialogue that's happening inside the minds of our clients more regularly. So we want to see how they think and feel about everything in all circumstances in life, at home, at work, with their employees, with their friends, with their spouses, etc. And journaling gives us that added data to work with so that we have a tremendously higher level of insight when we have our coaching calls. We know what they've just been through. We know how they feel about what they've been through. And we can go into those coaching calls and really move the needle. So we work with leaders. They like speed. I get it. Journaling allows us to give them a speedy transformation.
I like that. They say that people don't quit jobs. They quit their boss, right? They quit the person that they work for. How do you recommend that leaders or managers or entrepreneurs, business owners,
how can they increase retention of good employees?
So I think hands down, the number one way to increase retention is for leaders, managers to learn coaching skills. And I will tell you an interesting finding. I do a lot of presentations for business owners, but before I go in, I give them a survey. And one of the questions I ask is, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of your coaching skills. How confident do you feel with respect to your coaching skills? And the next question I ask is, how satisfied are you with the performance of your team? And it's a one-to-one relationship. The higher the coaching skill, the more satisfied they are with the performance of their team.
Sure.
And it's across the board. Doesn't matter the industry, Canada, US, doesn't really matter. It's consistent one-to-one relationship. So how do you increase retention? Learn how to coach the people who are on your team.
And in this situation, coach and manage are the same, right?
Well, I feel like leadership and management are slightly different.
Explain that.
But, well, leader needs to provide direction. A leader needs to provide vision. A leader needs to say, here's where we're headed. A manager needs to take that vision and kind of work with people to help them get there. Does coaching fit into both places? Yes. I just think that the skill set and the purpose of each is slightly different.
So how long have you had the entrepreneurial bug? I know you did some stuff before Frame of Mind Coaching, but tell me a little bit about it.
Since I was young. You know what?
When did you start?
My parents used to go take us on vacations to Cape Cod. We used to have like family, friends, all kinds of people who used to go. And I was like 8, 9, 10 years old. I used to sell massages on the beach. And I used to make $1 for 10 minutes.
You sold massage on the beach when you were 10 years old.
Yes, but I sold them to my friends and family only, right?
Okay.
The thing is that I had a sense for being an entrepreneur way back then.
Yeah.
As I grew up, I was on students council. We used to sell anything we could get our hands on: chocolate bars, fruit baskets, dance tickets. It doesn't matter. I wanted to always sell more than anybody else.
I like it.
As I got older, I owned a balloon business, and we used to do balloon decorating for people's parties, weddings, engagement parties, events. And, and then after that, I had a software company where we used to build relation-based assessments to help companies make better hiring decisions. So I'm a serial entrepreneur through and through. I come from an entrepreneurial family. My dad was an entrepreneur, and, I guess it's genetic.
Yeah, I don't have any entrepreneurs in my family except for me. I'm trying to pass the gene on to my kids, and there's a lot of rebellion there. Dad, I don't want to do that, But I started mine in 4th grade. I was selling lemonade. And of course, everyone sells lemonade back in those days, and I'm a little bit older than you, quite a bit older. But it was a quarter, right? And I think today it might even be a quarter still. But everyone was selling for a quarter. But I sold my lemonade for 50 cents. But I gave you a free cookie, and I had a table with chairs, and I had the radio playing music. And so I sold the buzz, and so my table was always busier on Saturdays. I put it out in the driveway, and we are always getting more business. And I had my little brother and sister helping me, and we had more business, but we were charging twice as much. Kind of interesting. So what do you do when you're not working? Tell me what things you do when you are with family. Yeah, with the 5 kids. What's the age range?
So now they're older. My youngest is 21, and then they just go up. So, we've done our time. We spend a lot of time together, especially now, COVID. Some of them are here, some of them are not. I do a lot of writing. I love to write. So
yeah, we're talking a lot. We're talking about is just perspective on life, right?
Yes.
Just how we look at life. And reminds me of the story. Was it the botanist, the lumberjack, and the monk? The 3 friends that are sitting there staring at a beautiful forest, and the botanist sees plants and trees that he can study, and the lumberjack sees a tree that he can cut down and turn into a house or a bench, and the monk just sees the beauty of nature and how gorgeous it is. And it's like the same thing they're looking at, but 3 different perspectives. We bring to the world our own unique upbringing, our perspectives, our experiences, our know-hows, and that helps us determine how we view a situation. Like with the Uber situation, my son, even though I'm trying to show him that you can look positive on anything, he's only 13. He doesn't know yet, right?
Good lesson.
It's a life lesson, and it's one of those moments that in 50 years, he's going to look back and hopefully remember the game, and hopefully remember the fact that the Uber driver that got lost 5 times, it will be a fun part of his fiber. He'll tell the story with a smile on his face. And that is, as parents, that's all we can ask, is just that we 100%. Give the kids those kind of tools to look at life with a positive perspective.
I have a son who's 24 years old, and he works as a chef in a kitchen in Montreal. And he was always the one of all of my kids who was most skeptical, most rebellious, most resistant to everything I did. Well, the other day I heard him tell me a story. He said, Mom, I have this team in the kitchen, and I said to them, give me 10. I said, what do you mean? And I thought to myself, well, he's making them do push-ups?
Right.
What's that about? He's like, do you know what I'm looking for? Do you know what I was asking for? I'm like, no. He goes, I want each of them every day to tell me 10 things they're grateful for.
Oh.
Like, wow.
Wow. Yeah.
All right. The chef in the kitchen. And I thought to myself, you know what? This stuff seeps through. This stuff penetrates. This stuff matters.
It does.
And it has an impact on the people who matter to you, which are, to me, my kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was blown away by that one.
So you're not a fan of empathy, right?
No.
Why not?
So people don't really understand empathy. They think it's like the greatest thing and everybody should have empathy. But let's define empathy first. Empathy is not an intellectual activity. It's not understanding where someone's coming from. It's actually an emotional experience where you put yourself in the shoes of someone else and feel their emotional state. It's an emotional experience. So let's really look at this. Imagine I'm walking by a park and I see a swimming pool and I see someone drowning in the pool. How is that person feeling in the pool?
Like he's going to die.
Yeah, he's terrified. He's
Yeah.
panicked. He's breathless. He's in a state of shock, horror, etc. If I feel those feelings, if I empathize in that moment, then suddenly I'm terrified. I'm in a state of shock.
But you're going to take action on that fear, though. You're going to go help him.
Feel his feelings. Impossible. I can only take action if I have compassion. I see there's a guy drowning, but I have to have some kind of presence of mind.
So compassion has to be added to the empathy.
No empathy. Empathy is putting myself in his shoes and feeling his emotions. It's kind of like jumping in the pool and drowning right beside him. It's not useful.
Gotcha.
What's useful is acknowledging that he needs help.
And having compassion.
Solidly on the edge of the pool and saying, here, grab my hand, I'll pull you out. Not feeling what he's feeling and jumping in and drowning right beside him. That's not useful.
Makes sense. And until you explain it, it's like, okay, well, that doesn't make any sense at all, but it actually does. So,
right.
So tell me about frame of mind coaching a little bit, what you guys do and what you're all about.
Yeah, so we've been coaching for 16 years. I have a team of coaches in Canada and the US. And one of the most interesting parts about that is every single one of my coaches started off as being a client first. So for whatever reason, they were looking for coaching.
Yeah.
They went through the coaching experience. They said, holy smokes, that was cool. How do I learn how to coach? So we have a very specific approach when we coach. What I'm looking at is how leaders think and how their thinking impacts their outcomes. Whether it's their business outcomes, their family outcomes, their personal outcomes, it doesn't matter. How does your thinking play a role in the life you're living, both professionally and personally? And so what we do is we always start off with a 10-week coaching program. We have a call once a week. We record every call so that our clients can listen to themselves speak. They can hear the stories they tell. They can hear their emotional state. They can hear where they get trapped, they get stuck, where they get frustrated, and they start to become observers of themselves. In addition to that, we ask our clients to journal in an online journal privately with their coach every single day. No days off, no weekends, no vacations. So it's a very intimate and intense experience designed to move people far quickly. So again, speed is very important. And really the process is meant to help leaders look at this critical relationship between their thinking, their beliefs, and the results they're getting. So most people come to our coaching company when they want to move faster or when something's not working for them and they don't quite understand the role they play in creating a blockage in their progress. Our job is to help them see the role they play and remove the blockage so that they are kind of like placed on a runway with no obstacles in their way so that they can take off and achieve their goals with ease and speed.
Well, Kim Ades, a lot of words of wisdom. Thank you so much for sharing that with the audience, and good luck in the future.
Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to be on your show.
Now, wasn't that a nice change of pace? My biggest takeaway? We all need to live in the moments of our life, whether we are with family, at work, or enjoying some quiet time on our back deck alone. If we bring our best to every one of those moments, we will lead an extraordinary life. Hello, Unleashed Tribe. I am so honored to have you as a loyal listener, and I'm very excited to tell you about the Business Edge Radio app, now available on Apple and Android devices. You can catch up on past episodes, watch short videos of the Business Edge Minute, our 60-second show that gives you quick and easy tips on building a better business and living a better life. And you'll get access to bonus materials that are only available on the app. In fact, I have a nice little PDF bonus waiting for you there right now. Plus, you can email the show, call the show, connect with us on social, check out our website, and even make a nice fluffy omelet. No, you can't really do that. Just go to the iTunes Store or Google Play Store, and you can download the Business Edge Radio app so you can be one of the cool kids on your block. Business Edge Radio, the ultimate brainstorming session for your business and life. Now available in the App Store. Download it today. And if you don't, I'll come visit you on your day off. Fans of Business Edge Radio, I have a very special treat for you. As you know, I love barbecuing and making up any excuse to get myself outdoors. And that's why I'm so excited to partner with Barbecue Nation. They make incredible sauces and rubs and spices and meat shredders and grill scrapers and lots more. And they're offering a deal for our listeners. Check out bbqnation.net. And when you place an order for any of their products, you'll receive a 20% discount off your order when you enter the word EDGE at checkout. Looking for a magnet that lists your cooking temperatures or different types of smoking woods? They got that. Need a heavy-duty set of meat shredders for your pulled pork or shredded chicken sliders? They got that too. Or my favorite is their Magic Dust Everything Rub that will spice up just about any dish. Log on to bbqnation.net. That's bbqnation.net today. And when you enter the code EDGE at checkout, you'll receive a 20% discount just because you hang out with us on the show. Barbecue Nation, get your grill on. If you know anything about me, you know that I love my early mornings, and I really love a good cup of fresh roasted coffee. There's nothing better than getting started before the rest of the world with a good cup of joe. That's why I'm so excited to have Mountain Creek Coffee as a partner. The process is so simple. You order, they roast, they ship, you enjoy. They don't roast your beans until an order is placed, which guarantees the absolute freshest coffee that you can get. Check out their artisan dark roast, medium roast, or decaf beans at mtncreekcoffee.com. And when you put in the code EDGE at checkout, you will receive 20% off your first order. I prefer the dark roast because of its full body and bold flavor. You order, they roast, they ship, you enjoy. Log on to mtncreekcoffee.com and enter the code EDGE at checkout, and you will receive a 20% discount off your first order. Pretty cool stuff. Mountain Creek Coffee and Business Edge Radio, a partnership brewed out of the love of coffee. See what I did right there?
Time for Cooking Corner with Mitch. Yum.
Now it's time for Cooking Corner with a guy named Mitch, where I share with you a tantalizing, delicious, and yummy recipe that you can try at home this week. Doesn't that sound good? I knew you'd say that. First step, as always, turn on some really good music, grab yourself a nice beverage, and join me in the kitchen. Today, our recipe is for an old standard in most kitchens, but it has a twist that I think you might enjoy. We're going to be making Miss Tami's world-famous kind of pot pie. A pot pie is kind of like a meat goulash inside of a pie crust consisting of a flaky pastry. The term is used only in North America. Interesting fact right there. Pot pies can be made with a variety of fillings, including poultry and beef, seafood, or plant-based fillings, and may also differ in the types of crust. In the U.S., both beef pot pies and chicken pot pies are the most popular pies and can vary significantly in terms of how they're prepared and what the ingredients are. It's believed to have originated in Greece. But of course, all recipes are from Greece. The Greeks cooked meats mixed with other ingredients in open pastry shells. In the United States in the 19th century, Americans became enamored of a pie that featured, cover your ears children, robins. Yes, robins, the bird robins. The settlers who came to the United States took their pot pie recipes with them when they moved westward, and now beef pot pies and chicken pot pies have become a widely popular American dish and are now mass-produced and sold in the frozen food aisles of most supermarkets. Back when I was in high school and in college, I was an all-American sprinter, which meant that I had to get as fast as I could between point A and point B. It's funny, I still have that same mentality today when it comes to business and cooking. I'm always looking for the most efficient and fastest way to get from here to there, and this recipe is no exception. Okay, here's what you're going to need for this recipe, and remember what my rules of cooking are. Number 1, amounts of ingredients are based on the ish method. If you like something, add a little bit more. If you don't, take it out or add less. For example, add a cup of cheese, ish. Number 2, cooking is meant to be a family activity, so get your kids involved, get grandpa involved, get the dog involved, have fun with it. And number 3, recipes are not meant to be followed. Exactly. They're meant to be guidance for what you are wanting to create. It all depends on what ingredients you love, what ingredients you don't love, and making adjustments to the recipe as you go. Unless you are a baker, which means you have to follow the recipe exactly, or else you'll end up with a huge pile of bleep like me when I try to put a bleep into a bleep and it turned into a ginormous bleep of bleep. This is exactly why I don't enjoy baking, because it doesn't allow me to have too much creativity, or else you run the risk of totally messing things up. Enough said on that. Okay, for this recipe, you will need the following: 4 medium potatoes, peeled and diced, 3 large carrots, peeled and diced, 4 stalks of celery diced, 1 large yellow onion diced, 1 15-ounce can of salted corn, 1 15-ounce can of corn, 1 15-ounce can of peas, 18-ounce can of water chestnuts, sliced, 2 tablespoons of butter, 6 cups of chicken broth, a little bit of cornstarch to thicken, a little bit of thyme, 1 teaspoon, and here's the twist: an 8-count package of refrigerator biscuits. Yep, the biscuits you get there in a tube, you pull them out. And here's a trick: no pie crust needed. All right, so boil the potatoes, your celery, and your carrots until they're fork tender. Meanwhile, cook the chicken breast, season with a little salt and pepper, maybe throw some garlic on there. I prefer to cook it on the grill to give it a little bit of additional flavor and some added texture. And in a large pot, melt your butter and cook the onions for about 4 or 5 minutes on medium heat. Add your chicken broth and bring to a slight boil. Add your corn, your peas, your water chestnuts, the cooked chicken, potatoes, celery, and carrots. Throw in a little bit of thyme on top. Taste, and if it needs a little more salt and pepper, go ahead and add some at this stage. You can thicken with some cornstarch until you have the desired thickness. All right, next step, in a 9x13 baking dish, pour all of the mixture straight into the bottom of the pan. No crust at all. Take the biscuits, split them in 2, creating 16 pieces. Lay over the top of the hot mixture and bake on 350 for approximately 12 to 14 minutes until the biscuits are golden brown and cooked through. What I like to do is add a little bit of shredded sharp cheddar cheese on top, about halfway through the cooking, to give things a little more flavor. If you don't care for chicken, try beef or turkey or pork or tofu, or you can leave the meat out altogether and use a vegetable stock instead of chicken stock to give yourself a vegetarian dish. Voila! Scoop into a bowl or onto a plate and have yourself a 5-course meal all wrapped up into Miss Tami's world-famous kind of pot pie. Give this one a try and let me know how it turns out. Well, that will do it for this edition of Business Edge Radio. My parting shot today is this: I'm not a product of my circumstances. I'm a product of my decisions. Stephen Covey. Until next time, this is Mitch Graff reminding you to live every day like it's a Saturday and to live with passion. I'll catch you later.
Thanks for hanging out with Business Edge Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to subscribe, rate, and review. Then hop on over to www.mitchgraff.com to get even more meat and potatoes. We also invite you to follow the show at facebook.com/Unleashed Tribe. The most valuable asset that any of us has is our time. And we thank you for choosing to spend some of your precious time with us.